Well, you guys, I finished the challenge. 30 days with Kiara LaShae, the Tabata challenge, and my results, as you can see. Yes. I wasn't really worried about pounds, so I actually went down to dress size, which is amazing. I am now back into a medium. Yes. So in October, she's going to be doing another challenge where you can sign up. So hit the link down below and sign up for the next Kiara LaShae Trap and Tone Challenge in October. And don't forget about the tea, y'all. The tea really aided in the look, okay? If you think it happened in a month, all because I was working out, no. It's also because of the tea. Sometimes I still ate pizza. But yay!
Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Bondi Blue, and I am back for Power Book 2 Ghost. Okay, y'all, I decided to go ahead and pick it up since, there aren't going to be a lot of shows because of the pandemic and everything. So we're just going to add on shows as we see fit. And I watched it. I thought the episode was good enough. I really enjoy seeing Mary J. Blige and Method Man. Aesthetically, they are beautiful. So yeah, okay. And the storyline wasn't too bad. Like, I was involved. I was watching. I cared. Okay, y'all know I don't like Tyreek just like everybody else. And a show centered around him is going to be so annoying. But hopefully Courtney Kemp and the writers have something that is going to make us actually root for Tyreek, because right now we don't. Okay, so with that being said, the episode starts off with us seeing Tyreek getting ready in the morning. Okay, he's putting on his Stansfield University little placard. He's putting on his tie. He's putting on his shirt. He has a meeting at the dean's office with Stern. Stern is a booster club member for this school, this university, and he has gotten Tyreek into the school. Then we see Tasha being transported from prison to arraignment by Rockaletta Moss, okay? I don't know if y'all have seen She's Gotta Have It season 2, but yes, Rockaletta Moss, all right? She is a U.S. Marshal who doesn't believe that Tasha killed anybody because her nails were too nice. She lets her know that if the locals don't keep her, Rockaletta Moss will see her guilty ass later. I was just like, why you gotta be like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're like, why you gotta be like that? Like, so joyful about this, terrible situation. So Tyreek meets his grandmother and his little sister on the stairs of the courthouse. Okay, she wants him to come home, but he doesn't want to. He has to finish school because that's what Tasha wants him to do. Grandmama say Tasha don't know what she's talking about. Okay, Tasha has enough to worry about. Then Tamika walks up. Y'all know don't be playing on my phone. Okay, Tamika is Tasha's attorney, and she says that they will argue justification, which means Tasha will plead guilty, but that she did it in self-defense. The hope is that she'll get probation and no jail time. Tyreek wants to talk to her first, but really there is nothing that he can say. This is what Tasha wants to do. Tasha wants to take the fall for Tyreek. Tamika warns Tyreek that she's going to have to talk about James in court real bad. He like, do whatever you got to do. I don't care. I killed him. Whatever. So in court, the prosecution is putting the case forward that Tasha committed premeditated murder because, she had somebody that she was about to frame for the murder. So obviously she was involved in it. Tamika says that Tasha thought that James was going to kill her, okay? The prosecutor asks if she can prove it, and she says the bruises that were on Tasha's arms the night before. The prosecutor says that she cannot argue self-defense 24 hours later. The judge agrees with that. Tamika says that James St. Patrick was a monster of infinite proportion. The judge says the Democratic candidate for lieutenant governor was a monster. And Tamika says, yes, the Democrats did not do their homework on James St. Patrick. He's been charged with murder and with a whole bunch of slew of other crimes. The prosecution says he has been acquitted of all of those charges. Where's the proof? Tamika says that he was a smiling psychopath. What kind of stance against battered women are you trying to make here, Judge? The judge says, point taken. But Tasha will be remanded, but they have to rethink what they're going to charge her with because that's a bit much, okay? But she is going to stay in jail since she did kill somebody. The prosecution has to talk to her boss, and then later on, she meets up with Tamika and Tasha, and she offers her man 2 5 years. Tamika takes out the photos of the people that, have been suspected of being killed by James. One of the pictures is Keisha. We all know that James didn't kill Keisha. Tasha killed Keisha. Tamika says when she throws all of these pictures out in court in front of the jury, in front of the judge, everybody is going to try to give Tasha a parade for whatever she did to get rid of this monster. She turns to Tasha to ask if she thinks that James killed all those people, and she gives a terrible, does a terrible acting job. Yes, I just knew I was gonna be next. Like, girl, stop. Tamika says, I wonder what's gonna happen to your job when they find out that you helped humiliate the Democratic Party. All right, so that puts a lot on the prosecution's mind. Tariq is running to his meeting with Stern and the dean from the courthouse, okay? And of course, they're like, you're a young African-American man, you have to be prompt. The dean is a black woman, by the way, okay? But letting him know that you have to do better. Stern is there at his side and points out Tariq's resilience. And the dean was surprised to hear that he wanted to matriculate so soon after his father's passing. But Tariq says he thinks he will find great refuge in education and focusing on something besides his personal life. A part of the deal that is being made is that he has to tutor his roommate, the star basketball player Ezekiel. If Ezekiel doesn't play, Malik doesn't stay. So he's on his way to see his minority student counselor, which is like, why do y'all have to name it that? My God. He runs into a fellow minority student named Lauren, who is played by Thuggin. Okay, that's her Instagram name. I don't know her real name, but you know, she used to be on stuff when we was kids and stuff like that. Wasn't she on the barbershop, one of the barbershops? I can't remember. But she gives him the lowdown on the school and how there are only 4 black students, you know, 4-ish, because one of them is black on the outside but white on the inside. And, you know, she says she hopes to see him in class. They also talk about the canonical studies program, which helps kids graduate earlier, but it's very hard and extensive and more work than I think Tariq should be trying to put on himself right now. But y'all know Tariq, he's baby James. He's gonna pack it all on top. So he gets to the counselor's office and he doesn't understand why he's there. Okay, he's been in white schools his whole life. She tells him it's because his dad is dead and his mom just got arrested for it. So you obviously have some issues that you're not dealing with or that you need to deal with. And she's there to facilitate that. She's there to be a sounding board for him. Tariq asked her about the canonical studies. And he read it's supposed to help you graduate earlier. And she's like, well, why are you trying to graduate earlier? You just got here. You know, that's a hard thing for a lot of students to do, especially someone who has your type of situation and traumatic life experience going on right now. This might be a bit much. And he was like, look, I have to finish school early so that I can take care of my mom, my grandmom, and my little sister. Okay, I have responsibility. And y'all know that James put in the will that Tariq has to finish school before he can get his inheritance. The inheritance is to help everybody else. Okay, so that's what his mind is on, finishing school as quickly as possible. The counselor, who is Zoe from This Is Us, okay? Like, I'm sorry, but she's gonna be Zoe because I don't know her name, okay? So Zoe gives him a book to read in 24 hours, and he has a verbal exam to take the next day with the head of the Canonical Studies Department. And, you know, she's gonna try to get him in even though it's past the deadline. Tamika talks to Tasha, and she has a good deal for her. 4 years probation with no jail time. You would think that Tasha would jump at this. But Tamika tells her she has to tell the truth about who actually shot James, okay? Somebody wants James' secret life to stay secret. If she allocates honestly, she can go home the next day. So Tamika asked her, how did you know that James was going to be alone? I mean, it was the perfect time. How did you know? And we see the flashbacks of her and Tariq working out this plan together. Tamika finally understands that Tasha is protecting someone who is the only person that Tasha would protect to her own detriment, her child. So she asks, did Tariq kill James? And she's like, no, get out, you're fired. Because she doesn't even want that line of questioning to continue, so she just fires Tamika right there, okay? Of course, Tamika is like, Tasha, what are you gonna do without me? Like, come on, girl. Tamika is stumping down the street something terrible, and she calls Tariq to tell him that Tasha fired her. She won't tell the truth. She's protecting someone. I think you might know who it is. He asks, what did she say? And Tamika says nothing. But you need to get your mom a really good lawyer. A lawyer that doesn't need the truth to win. And he's like, what kind of lawyer doesn't need the truth to win? I'm like, any good lawyer. What? I'm sorry. But any like true, like really, really good lawyer worth their money, you shouldn't even have to tell them the truth. They should be able to get you out of that situation on you know, mere legalities, okay? but not in Tasha's situation. In this situation, child, she just might have to tell the truth, or a version of the truth. Enters Method Man, y'all. So here come Method Man, all fine. Davis McLean, three-piece suit nonetheless. I do love a three-piece suit, okay, with the vest on under it, okay, because it's always the vest tie combo, and then with the jacket on top, it just adds something extra. I live. But we see Method Man, you know, in court, waxing hella poetical in a courthouse, defending someone who is obviously guilty. Tariq runs up on him as he's leaving the courthouse. He's like, Davis McLean. He was like, I want to hire you to defend my mom. I'm Tariq St. Patrick. And he's like, St. Patrick? Well, all right, your dad was James St. Patrick, right? Yeah, okay, I heard about that. Yeah, I mean, you might just have to accept the fact that your mom is going to jail, and you know, you have a good life, kid. He gave him one of those, and Tariq was like, bro, I'm trying to pay you. What's up? And he was like, if you got $500,000 liquid, hit me up and we'll work. So Tariq goes over to his grandmother's house to search through some of Tasha's old boxes from the daycare. Okay, now he knows since he needs this money, he's got to start selling drugs again. So he's going to try to hook up with Tasha's old connect, Epiphany, who worked at, you know, the strip club. He gets the drugs from Effie, and then he sells the drugs in the strip club to make the money. So that's the plan in order to get the $500,000 to get Davis McLean to be Tasha's lawyer. So while he's looking for this, Grandma trying to talk to him, okay? Come on, baby, talk to me. I know I have so much you're going to have to deal with. And he's like, look, Grandma, I know I have to take care of you. I have to take care of my little sister. I have to take care of my mom. Look, if you're trying to help me find these folders about this daycare, okay? She calls him to come and talk to Tasha. So, you know, they talk for a minute and he asks her about the daycare. And she says that, no, Tariq, okay, I need you to focus on school. Focus on school. And he says, all right, Mom. He's not going to listen. He goes back into the room, looks through the boxes, and finds Epiphany's information. He rolls up on Epiphany outside her job at the strip club, okay? And she like, where I know you from? And he was like, you know, you used to drop your son off at my mom's daycare. And she was like, yeah, you Tasha's boy. Yeah, so what's up? What you doing around here? And he's like, you know, I was trying to find out if you wanted to make some extra money. And she was like, nah, I already told Tasha that the block is hot around her, okay? And he was like, nah, my mom is in jail right now. They think she killed my dad. Epiphany was like, damn, I need to watch the news. That's crazy. I'm like, yeah, bitch, you really should. Or at least get some updates on your phone, sis. Lord. But she says, yeah, I'll help you only because I owe your mom. But you got to get your own stuff. He was like, bet, I got that. So Tariq gets back to his room and his old roommate, y'all know that little crazy white boy that he got caught up with. Okay, he's there. And he's like, bro, you know what I want to do? You know, like the whole interracial, you know, like a guy thing where, you know, you're Danny Glover and I'm Mel Gibson, but not drunk. And Tariq is just laughing him off. His family actually built the auditorium and the pool. So, okay, you know, he's a legacy there. And he wants to have fun and do the college thing. But Tariq is on some other stuff. You know, Tariq has to focus on a lot more than that. But he brings up Effie. And he was like, oh, yeah, when the last time you talked to Effie? And, you know, he was like, oh, I ain't talked to her in a minute. You know, she got into Yale. So then we see Tariq outside of Effie's apartment building. She's coming downstairs with a bag of weight for him. And he's trying to read that book that he's supposed to be finishing. Doing all of this stuff. Still trying to finish this damn book for this exam he has the next day. And Effie, you know, is apologetic about telling on him. You know, he was like, I can't believe you did me like that. And she was like, look, man, you was selling pills that choke out of a hobby. I couldn't even pay for books. You was competition. I had to do what I had to do. It was business. It's not personal. And he was like, so you lied about everything? And she was like, no, not about the way I felt about you. And he was like, yeah, whatever. So, you know, he takes the drugs and he walks off. And she's like, you're not going to pay me for that? And he was like, it's not personal. It's just business. And she was like, yeah, all right. She lets him take it. So, you know, he might have a couple of little different situations going on this season. Okay. So back at the school, Zoe is talking to another male black, you know, minority counselor there about helping her get Tariq in a class, okay? And he's like, look, if this boy was white, you would not be trying to help him, okay? He's got some booster helping him. He comes from a privileged lifestyle. And she's like, oh, so he doesn't pass your black litmus test, like, because he's not from the hood? Like, come on, don't make this about you and me. He's a, you know, a smart kid. He's been dealt a bad hand. Let's help him. And he's like, I know it's not about us. Or as you say, there is no us, okay? If the kid impresses me, then I'll help you, but I doubt he'll impress me. So Tariq is late for the canonical studies exam, and he didn't even finish the book. He did have a very strong opinion about feeling like the character wasn't sympathetic. I think his name was Mersault, and he murdered somebody, and he didn't want to take responsibility for it, and he ends up dying in the end because he killed this person. And this is very similar to Malik's own life. He just killed his father. This was a decision that he made. So, you know, hearing in a book that somebody murdered someone and there's this idea that it wasn't a real decision being made, it's just ridiculous. You know, for him, he personally knows that in order to take somebody's life, that's a real decision, especially when you plan it out, you know, and all of that type of stuff like Tariq did. So his understanding of the book was almost spot on without him having to read the whole book, okay? Which impressed the other minority counselors. So even though he admits that he didn't have time to finish the book, they argue on his behalf anyway. And they make the point that we have no idea what he had to do yesterday, and we just gave him the book in 24 hours, and I'm sure the other kids will give him more time to read that book, okay? And when you think about it, between, you know, the courthouse, meeting with the lawyer, meeting with his, you know, his grandmother, you know, trying to find another lawyer, like Tariq is doing a lot. And the fact that he even got halfway through the book is a testament to his own intelligence. I think this aspect is about to show us how smart Tariq is, being able to take on the canonical courses and that extra work, helping Ezekiel with all his work, basically doing his homework, basically doing his own homework and Ezekiel's homework, which, you know, all of the extra shit that comes along with all of this, on top of selling drugs and trying to get his mom out of jail, is gonna be a lot. And I really hope that we get to see him be just as smart and sharp as Ghost was. That is the only thing that will make him likable. So Tasha is meeting with her public defender, okay? When the prosecutor comes in with new evidence from the forensics that says that Tasha wasn't the shooter. The shooter was between 5'11" and 6'2". So it couldn't have been her. Tasha was setting Q up to take the fall. So that is what's keeping her on the line, because her little lawyer was like, well, if y'all know it wasn't my client, why is she still in jail? Well, it's because she was trying to set somebody else up for it. So now the prosecutor is offering Tasha 15 years. And so she names Andre Coleman. Her public defender says, oh, you should just take that because it won't get much better than that. And she's kind of ass kissing the prosecutor. So it was just kind of like, don't listen to this girl, please. Okay, like just in one ear and out the other. Nobody needs to listen to you talking about you didn't had a hard day. I'm about to spend the rest of my damn life in jail, and you come in here talking about you had a hard day because you can't get your paperwork together. Ugh. Oh, Lord. So y'all, Sachs is surprised to find Mock and Stephen Otts from the DNC in his office. They are there to cover up James' illegalities. Okay, all of the stuff that James was into, they don't want that to come out because that's an embarrassment for the Democratic Party, like Tamika thought it would be. So Sachs is there because they want to try and charge Tasha with a kingpin statute in order, I guess, to cover up everything with James. I'm like, how would that cover up anything? Wouldn't that make it come out? Like, that doesn't even make any sense. But Sachs doesn't want to do that because they're protecting Sachs, okay? Sachs is supposed to help Tasha and help Tariq. He doesn't know that Tariq killed James, but you're supposed to, help us with this Tasha situation so that Tariq doesn't tell that he saw him at Truth with a gun. You were there too. You were one of the people who we were wondering if could have possibly been the killer. So, yeah, he doesn't want anybody to find that out. But he also doesn't want to charge Tasha with, that kingpin shit because he knows that that wasn't her. She was trying to take James down before he was killed. Sachs says that he can't do it. And he knows that, it wasn't Tasha. So Mock tells him, I got you this job and I can take it away from you. So please remember that. So he's, pretty much on the line right now. And he's trying to keep this job. So Sachs then begrudgingly goes to dinner with his family, who nicknames him Nancy. You can tell he's the oddball out in his family. And there's a conversation between him and his brother, who basically says that he isn't good under pressure and it'll only be a matter of time before he messes up his job as a U.S. district attorney or whatever, because he has a record of messing up in his family. So they're adding Sachs' family. I think the only reason we're going to be okay with this is because they don't like him either. So I I feel like we'll like his family because they give him shit, okay? Tyreek gets to his new dorm room at Stansfield and finds Ezekiel Cross, his, roommate and a basketball player, banging some girl out on the bed. So he has to give him a minute before he can come and move into his room. Later on, they go to his aunt's house. The aunt's name is Monet or Moet or whatever, but it's Mary J. Blige. So y'all know she gonna be married. So they're having this big party to celebrate the great black hope of the family. And he's showing Tyreek around, introducing him to his family members. And then there's some drama, okay? Bobby Brown, a.k.a. Woody. All right, y'all know the little guy that played Bobby Brown. We're going to call him Bobby Brown. I know his name is something else, but he's going to be Bobby Brown, okay? So Bobby Brown was at some point getting brained in the bathroom from some girl. And by the time him and the girl coming out of the house and being introduced to Tyreek or whatever, her boyfriend enrolled up. Now, this is just stupid, okay? This is just so stupid to me. If you have got to run behind your girl after she done been caught with some other dude, ain't no need to run up. Not like this. This was just stupid, okay? So he ends up getting into this fight with Bobby Brown. Bobby Brown knocks his ass out. He gets up off the floor and tells his girl to come on. His girl says, no, I'm staying. I'm like, you thought. Okay, I just feel like she was like, you wrong because you put him in this situation, and you did. You could tell by the look on her face that she was being vindictive. We don't know their situation, but we just know all of this looks wrong. And Tyreek is just like, what the hell is going on? Meanwhile, Tyreek is vibing with Bobby Brown's sister, okay? Mary comes outside to see what's going on and to get Ezekiel's ass inside because he's too valuable to the family, okay? So once the dude runs off, Mary is like, he gonna be back. And it's like, yeah, whenever you embarrass somebody like that, them fools always won't come back with a gun. So you already know what's gonna happen. Tyreek goes inside with Ezekiel's cousin, and they're looking at family photos, and she's talking about how they're black and Puerto Rican. The dad is a Puerto Rican drug pen that's in jail right now. So they've had a similar upbringing as far as having parents who are drug dealers. One ended up in jail, one ended up dead, just by the hands of his own son. Either way, the rules still remain the same. So dude comes back with a gun, and you can hear him outside arguing with Mary. And Mary is like, dude, go home before my son come and blow your brains out, okay? His son comes around the corner. Bobby Brown comes around the corner with the, the double barrel shotgun on him. And then the police roll up. The police seems to know Mary. And the way Bobby Brown looked back at the police officer and Mary, it made me seem like they had a thing going on and he wasn't a fan, okay? But the dude runs off. Tyreek gets a text. He has to go. Ezekiel's cousin is like, oh, what's that, your girlfriend? And he was like, I ain't got a girlfriend, but I gotta go. I'm like, all right, she feeling him. She wanna know if you got a girlfriend. So then we see Sax at Tamika's house asking what she can tell him about the St. Patrick case. And Tamika can't tell him anything. And he's like, well, what if, you knew somebody who was there when James was murdered? And Tamika is putting two and two together and realizes he's talking about himself. And she says, what the f you got me into, Sax? If Tasha names you, can you prove your innocence? And he was like, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't have nothing to do with it. And she was like, if I get subpoenaed, I have to say what you just told me. And he was like, you don't have to. And she was like, get out. I don't know you. She had to push him out of her place because this is when, white man tries to get black lady to do something illegal and lose her job on his behalf, and he would never do the same for her. This is what that was. So she had to clap him up out of there. So then we see Tyreek and his little white homeboy make a drop at the strip club and drop the product off, right? Tasha is in jail crying. Bobby Brown kills the jilted boyfriend in the stairwell. Lights him up. Unnecessarily. He gets back in the car with Mary, who was waiting outside while the job was getting done, and she goes and wipes some of the blood off the side of his face. I was just like, oh, okay. Sax rolls up on the prosecutor, and she tells him that she's going to get Tasha to take a plea deal. Tyreek is juggling a lot, okay? He has his work for Ezekiel, his own work. He's selling drugs, and he's got the 2 girlfriends at this point, okay? Maybe 3, depending, okay? He goes to meet with the girl, Lauren. The black counselor reached out to Lauren, asked if she can help him get through the book. He says he actually read the book the night before, and he expresses how he feels about it, that the character wasn't sympathetic, and you make a choice to kill somebody. You got killed because you killed somebody, not because you were just some unlikable person. Like, Tyreek was like, take responsibility. That's how he felt about this main character. take responsibility for your actions. And when he expressed that to Lauren, she says that he should say that to them when he takes the exam. That's what they want to hear. They think they're hearing the real you. That's what they want. Okay. She goes to the bathroom, and then Sax pulls up because Sax wants to know what's going on. Why did Tasha drop Tamika as a lawyer? Apparently, he didn't even know that Sax was the one that got Tamika to be Tasha's lawyer. But now, because Tamika doesn't want to go along with the lie, they have to figure out another way to handle this. And Tyreek is like, look, at the end of the day, if you don't want me to tell the police that I saw you there, you need to fix this. Sax tells Tyreek to get Tasha to tell the truth. And I'm just like, every time y'all say that, y'all have no idea, okay, what's really going on. Okay, so Tyreek uses Ezekiel's Instagram page because he has so many followers to thank David McLean for taking his mother's case. Now, y'all know David did not take the case, but this is his way of kind of making him do it. Okay, so then he goes to take that verbal exam, and he speaks very passionately about Mersault being a killer and being special, which is why he died on his own terms and not at the mercy of other people's opinions of him. He controlled his own destiny. So McLean gets all the social media buzz from Tyreek, and they meet up after he finishes taking his exam. Of course, y'all know he got into the class, right? And he gives him enough money for the week, okay, which I think was only like $50K. Tyreek says to tell Tasha to come home, that she's innocent, she doesn't deserve this. And he knows she's afraid to say who killed James, but he's not afraid for her to say who killed James, and, you know, that he loves her. So McLean goes to see Tasha in prison and tells her that he got her the same deal. Okay, after he tells her, you know, he don't know whether to congratulate her or call CPS. I thought that was too funny. But he tells her he got her the same deal, but she needs to tell the truth. He tells her that Tyreek says she doesn't deserve this and she needs to come home. Basically tells her to just tell the truth, okay? They get to court, and Tasha puts it all on Tommy Egan, okay? When she does that, they ask, well, how does she know that? Why would he do that? And she was like, because I asked him to. So meanwhile, Stephen Ott and not Mock, but Sax are sitting in the courthouse. When they hear this, after they dismiss the charges, the FBI, now it's a federal case, they want to charge her with the Queen Pin statute because they heard her say that she was the one that told Tommy to kill James. So now, Method Man don't know what he done got himself into. But Tyreek is so smart, he says this will make your career. This will be the biggest case of your career. David says, well, I need the rest of my money, okay? So then we see Rockaletta Moss retrieving Tasha from the state police officers. And then we see Tyreek, okay, finishing up his paper for Ezekiel, getting the email that he got into the class, and then doing his research on Mary's drug dealing boyfriend or husband or whatever, okay? So he can find out what the Puerto Rican kingpin was up to. Thinks he might be able to use that to his advantage, I'm sure. So yeah, y'all, that was Power Book 2. I liked it. I didn't think, I was, you know, I was entertained. I was keeping up with it. I wasn't bored. I wasn't like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? So I was here for it. So as long as I'm here for it, we're going to continue to review. Okay, so I hope y'all enjoyed. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share my video with y'all people on y'all Facebook, whatever, and y'all Instagram. Please just share me. I appreciate y'all so much, and I hope y'all have a good one, okay? Mwah.